Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Boruto anime review. This one's going to be for episode 126, which is called Shukaku's Trick. And this was a very fun episode of Boruto. In that, it did a few important things, but in general, it was just Himawari kind of focused episode, Uzumaki family focused episode, but also had that really cool, we're finally talking about the tailed beasts again and being kind of fairly open about them, letting us know, I suppose, what some of our other characters, how much they know about the tailed beasts. And then, I suppose the important aspect of this episode was that it seemed to confirm to us that this is going to be a sort of longer ongoing arc with Urashiki, where there's probably going to be a couple of kind of arcs dealing with him, trying to protect the tailed beast, and leading up to, I suppose, maybe his eventual defeat or whatever. There's a lot they can do here, and I like that this wasn't just saying, oh, Urashiki's gone. They're still looking out for him and being cautious about him, and this episode was just Naruto has to keep an eye on Shukaku, and he's going to be put in a safe house, but for now he needs to be kept in Naruto's house, and so Naruto has to introduce his family to Shukaku. So it made for, I thought, a very fun, cute episode. I think a lot of fans really, really like Himawari and want to know more about her. And this episode, I think, addressed a lot of those kind of things about her. And I think the most important thing here was just that, like I said earlier on, they were open about the tailed beasts. Naruto didn't try to hide from the family that this was the actual tailed beast. And then finally, I suppose, we got Boruto actually asking Naruto the question, you have a tailed beast inside you, don't you? And Naruto just says, yes, I have Kurama, the nine-tailed fox inside me. So it's one of those things where Boruto knew, but he'd never talked about it. And I think it was important to address that for sure, just that kind of openness of they now know he has a tailed beast inside him. He talks a little bit about, the Jinchurikis and the way they were treated in the past, and them more or less being treated as weapons and just vessels for them. And it was a nice one of just him being home, I suppose, for that day, getting to talk to the kids and be open about these bits and pieces about his own life, and confirming to them these are the tailed beasts. Here's some information about them in general. They're named after the number of tails they have, and they're, powerful and dangerous. We have to look after Shukaku. And of course, Himawari likes Shukaku because she got the toy previously of Shukaku, and so she thinks it's just a deluxe version of the toy initially, but then quickly realizes, actually, no, this is the real one. And we pretty much deal with some interesting dynamic here of Kurama inside Naruto talking to Shukaku, and they don't like each other, but it's more of a sort of friendly rivalry type thing, each of them trying to get one over on the other. Kurama has easy kind of ammunition with Shukaku in this kind of cute kettle form where he looks like a toy. Lots of jokes from Kurama's side, and then it's Shukaku looking for something to kind of joke about Kurama with. So he's like, oh, you're stuck inside Naruto, you never come out, you care about the family, but then he sort of hides in Himawari's toys and overhears Naruto at nighttime kind of talking to Kurama, and finds out about the incident where Himawari used her Byakugan to both basically KO Naruto and Kurama at the same time. They were both out of action because she hit the perfect chakra point. And he then focuses in on Himawari because he wants to make this happen again, and just see it for himself, so he can kind of confirm to the rest of the tailed beast that Kurama was taken out by a little girl. So he tries to find out how it happened, and probably the most important character thing for Himawari we learn in this episode is that she doesn't have any memory really of using the Byakugan. And when we see her use it in this episode to save Shukaku from getting kind of thrown away with the trash, it definitely highlights the idea that it's kind of a multiple personality type thing. She becomes a kind of almost different person when she activates the Byakugan, because we don't really associate Himawari as having the ninja skills as such, in that you don't really see her flipping around the place, able to do the big jumps, or even basic kunai throwing and stuff like that. As far as I'm aware, I don't really remember her doing much of that stuff. And then this episode seemed to highlight that with the fact that when she uses the Byakugan, she's able to actually use it and scan around, find it. She does the whole locked on thing, and then does the giant jump into the air to save Shukaku. But once she gets Shukaku, the Byakugan deactivates, and immediately she's just like, oh, I'm up in the air, I'm falling, and clearly I don't know how to land from here. Whereas if she did know how to do the big jumps, she'd know how to do the landing as well. And Boruto has to save her. So it's presenting this idea of like there's a unique thing to Himawari's Byakugan, where she seems almost like more powerful than just a normal Hyuga kid who activates the Byakugan kind of when they're young. It seems like some sort of thing takes over her almost, and she's able to use it at a super high level. And like it has to kind of be that way, because otherwise that jokey thing of like she KO'd Naruto before his Hokage inauguration, I think you have to look at that as a more serious note of like the fact that she was able to do that. Like, okay, Naruto didn't have his defenses up, but still, she delivered one blow, pretty much her first ever blow against someone, powerful enough to KO Naruto, who's got amazing durability, and Kurama inside Naruto. That's how powerful she is when she's like this. So immediately you're like, when is she going to get some ninja training? Because she's like 10, 11 here, which is where Boruto kind of in or around was, especially like back during Gaiden. So it feels like, are they holding back with her doing any training or not? Or is she going to be starting that soon-ish? Like we know from at least some of the intros that they highlight Himawari like doing certain amount of training. So it's a bit weird in that, like, are we meant to view it as like Himawari does have some ninja training but doesn't use it often, or that she was just shocked that she suddenly appeared in midair and was like, I don't know how to get down from here, whereas maybe if she jumped up herself and was aware of her falling, she'd be able to make it out herself. It's a little bit up in the air, and that's where you want to know, like, when is Himawari going to start in the academy? Because she's getting towards that age now where that probably should be happening soon, if that's the direction for her character. Because I think we're obviously heading, because of where the manga and the first episode of the anime highlights, heading towards a time skip happening at some point. And Himawari's going to be, like, I suppose in around like 14 or something like that during that time skip. So she should be there, right there, decent amount of training done, able to like go on certain missions and stuff like that. So we want to see her used in a more kind of highlighted position, because it'd be an interesting thing to have like the main character have a sibling who's also like a ninja and play a role in the story. Because obviously Naruto not having kind of any family, and us having to learn about his family through kind of flashback and all these kind of plot kind of related events. It's cool that Boruto just has like a complete family to allow all that stuff to happen. But like I said, it was a fun episode because like they did a lot of cool stuff, like Naruto having that meeting with as many of the tail beasts who kind of joined them in the sort of psychic realm of the tail beasts, their kind of connected minds. And we got to see a bunch of them there just talk, and how much at least these ones really trust Naruto, so when he calls on them, they meet up. And the others you see are just living their lives kind of free now, kind of roaming the world now that they're in a more era of peace, and that the humans are sort of watching out for the tail beasts so they don't get misused. So it was just nice to get them all named again, get a look at all of them, and just highlight the fact that they're going to be in danger. This is the situation with Shukaku. We're watching out for him. Just be aware that there's an Otsutsuki out there looking for chakra, and you guys need to be aware of that. So it's cool to have this kind of completely different era from Shippuden, where like the tail beasts are being hunted and they're just seen as these weapons, to now they're these kind of like endangered species kind of animals that like they know if they fall into the wrong hands they're going to be misused, but that they want to give them an element of freedom and look after them, and it's just a better kind of trusting, I suppose, environment for them. Beyond that, like I said, it was just the fun thing of like Naruto gets the day off because he has to watch Shukaku in his own house, and so they get to have like a family day out. So just really fun seeing like little bits of like Naruto and Hinata talking and just interacting, Boruto and Himawari and their great dynamic and relationship, and like Naruto constantly falling asleep when he's relaxed with the family, but then being very aware of like, okay, like it's one of his days off. He's come out with us, but of course he falls asleep in the park. He falls asleep when they get back home. Just really nice family moment there in all of this, and I think it worked pretty nicely. And then like you sort of wonder going forward, like if Himawari is going to be a sort of more important character, like is there any significance to the fact that she now has a sort of very friendly relationship with Shukaku? I'm not trying to suggest that they're going to make like Himawari a Jinchuriki or anything like that, but like I can definitely see a point in the series, like if we get to like a big like Fifth War type situation, that we have the Tail Beast choosing to ally themselves with the shinobi against whatever the main threat is, Yototsuki, and so you have maybe not Jinchuriki powers combining, but just, you know, almost like the Tail Beast as like, you know, summoning animal type thing with certain characters. Like that's going to be, I think, very, very fun to see. But again, we're so far off, I think, from any of that, but it's nice to know that like, oh, like Naruto's whole family has met Shukaku and is kind of has a decent relationship with him. It's just a nice little thing. Beyond that, I don't think there's too much to the episode beyond like, yeah, at the very start they seem to confirm that like Urashiki's realistically going to come back into things at some point. Who knows exactly when? Because again, we're still waiting for like, okay, when is the anime going to eventually commit to doing the manga stuff? How long are we going to be just letting the anime do its own thing? And then I think we have a special arc coming up to celebrate like the 20th anniversary of the series and stuff like that. So that should be pretty cool to see what it seems to be is like it's going to be this kind of probably out of continuity episode where Boruto gets to meet a younger Naruto, which those episodes are always very fun to just see that sort of what if scenario, just to see what Boruto's reaction would be to seeing Naruto when he was younger. So stuff like that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to say on this episode. Definitely, you know, like 2 thumbs up from me on this one. These are the sort of like episodes where it's not super plot focused, but it covers a lot of ground that we really, really wanted to. Focusing on a character everyone likes, addressing the key things about her that everyone is interested in, and then just getting a lot of fun interactions out of it. But in the comments, let me know what your thoughts are on this episode. What were your thoughts on it? But that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.